They lit up our screens and then vanished.
So when the time comes, the boy must die?
Yes.
No headlines, no fanfare, just a quiet goodbye we never even heard.
I don't know if you can hear me, but this is what's gone down. And we're bringing you back to New York. All your family and friends will come.
One fell on a ski slope and never got back up. Another lost her battle with cancer the same day the world mourned someone else. And one was murdered, almost without a ripple.
I asked her if she was in pain. I told her I loved her. I think she knows when she hears my voice that it's gonna be all right.
These are the actors who passed away without us realizing it. What if a single gentle slope could end a life that illuminated every stage it touched? Picture the crisp alpine air of Mont Tremblant on March 16, 2009, a place where laughter and exhilaration mingled in the frozen breeze. Natasha Richardson, nearly 2 months from her 46th birthday, leaned into that mountain air, cheeks rosy beneath oversized ski goggles. She was a seasoned skier. But that morning, everything shifted. A fall, so minor it barely seemed worth mentioning, sent Natasha tumbling. No pain, no panic. She stood, brushed off the snow, and laughed it away. Yet behind that calm exterior, a silent threat was taking hold, a traumatic brain injury, hidden and deadly. Hours later, the actress, daughter of Vanessa Redgrave, wife of Liam Neeson, developed a headache, then rapidly deteriorated. The ticking clock inside her skull was unstoppable.
I don't know if you can hear me, but this is what's gone down. And we're bringing you back to New York. All your family and friends will come.
She was rushed from a local Canadian hospital to New York, her family by her side. Tests revealed a fatal epidural hematoma, bleeding that swelled her brain. Within 48 hours, Natasha was gone. Vanessa Redgrave would later remember her daughter's laughter as like sunshine. The shock was global. Natasha was beloved for her magnetic presence in The Parent Trap and her luminous West End performances. What makes this tragedy so haunting? It was a fall that seemed far too small to be fatal. What if a single name whispered in the dark could capture a lifetime of love and loss? Picture a quiet hospital room in Santa Monica, June 25, 2009. Farrah Fawcett, forever remembered for that red swimsuit, for Charlie's Angels, for her sunlit feathered hair, lay frail at 62. Diagnosed with anal cancer in 2006, she fought fiercely, enduring chemotherapy, surgery, and even experimental treatments in Germany. The disease, relentless, had spread to her liver and beyond. She never gave up, recalled those closest to her. Even as her strength faded, Farrah's spirit shone through. Her Texas warmth, her humor, her refusal to surrender to despair. In her final days, she was surrounded by her longtime partner Ryan O'Neal and her friend Alana Stewart, who helped document her journey in the Emmy-nominated Farrah's Story.
Back here was like just a dark, dark spot, and then there'd be a light spot, and then a dark spot, and so I don't know.
It looks good. There's a good shape to it.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad you left the bangs. That's good.
But in those last hours, the room fell silent. According to her confidant Mella Murphy, Farrah's final word was a trembling plea: Redmond. Her thoughts, even at the end, were with her only son, Redmond O'Neal. Murphy promised to look after him, and only then did Farrah let go.
I asked her if she was in pain. I told her I loved her. I think she knows when she hears my voice that it's gonna be right.
Yet, as the world mourned, her passing was eclipsed. Just hours later, news broke that Michael Jackson had died. Headlines shifted, tributes multiplied, and Farrah's death became a footnote. In that quiet moment, Farrah Fawcett, Hollywood's golden girl, became something more: vulnerable, fierce, and above all, a mother whose love outlasted fame.
I want to thank you, my dearest friend, for helping me take this ambiguous journey I have found myself on. It has given me strength, hope, and even helped me fight the fear. Fear of everything seems just around the corner, every day.
Adrienne Shelley was the creative force behind Waitress, the indie film that would later inspire a Broadway sensation. By 40, Adrienne had transformed from Hal Hartley's indie muse into a formidable filmmaker, a devoted mother, a wife, a storyteller brimming with light. On November 1, 2006, Adrienne was found hanging by a bedsheet in the bathroom of her West Village office apartment. Police initially suspected suicide, but her husband, Andy Ostroy, refused to believe it. There was no note. Money was missing. Their 2.5-year-old daughter, Sophie, was waiting at home. Why would Adrienne leave like that?
Not a minute of every day goes by without me thinking of Adrienne and what my daughter Sophie has lost. What the world has lost.
Ostroy's persistence led to a deeper investigation. Detectives found a sneaker print in construction dust, evidence of an intruder. Within days, 19-year-old construction worker Diego Pilco confessed. He'd entered Adrienne's office intending to steal. When she caught him and threatened to call police, he panicked, strangled her, and staged the scene to look like suicide. The medical examiner later determined Adrienne was still alive when hanged.
I got a call from a detective, and he said, "Andrew, we arrested the guy who killed Adrienne."
Waitress premiered at Sundance to a standing ovation, and her legacy blossomed on Broadway. In the wake of tragedy, Ostroy founded the Adrienne Shelley Foundation, now awarding over 100 grants to women filmmakers, nurturing voices Adrienne would have championed. Yet in the quiet corners of Manhattan, the question lingers, what other stories might she have told if one moment hadn't stolen them all? Michael Clarke Duncan, his presence could shake a room. Towering at 6 feet 5 inches with a heart that seemed even larger, he captivated audiences as John Coffey in The Green Mile. That breakout role earned him an Oscar nomination, but acting wasn't always his path. Before Hollywood, he dug ditches and guarded celebrities, chasing a dream that seemed out of reach.
My belief was that I wanted to do this movie. I had faith that I could do it. I prayed about it. I got on my knees. I said, please, Lord, let me get this movie.
In July 2012, Duncan suffered a heart attack at home. His fiancée, reality star Omarosa Manigault, found him and performed CPR, helping him survive the initial crisis. For nearly 2 months, he remained hospitalized, his condition mostly shielded from the public eye. News of his struggles surfaced, but the depth of his fight stayed private. So when he passed on September 3rd, 2012 at just 54, the world was caught off guard.
I know he's 54, but he was 17 years older than me. And he was so happy. And when he met Omarosa, we talked again. And I know that big smile, but you know, it grew like another millimeter on each side. He was so happy.
His death, though seismic for those who knew his strength and soul, was quietly overshadowed. The news cycle at the time was crowded with other major stories and notable deaths, and Duncan, known for his powerful supporting roles rather than tabloid headlines, didn't command the relentless media spotlight. There was no controversy, no spectacle, just a gentle giant slipping away, his passing drowned out by louder news. What if one of cinema's most unforgettable voices vanished, and the world barely noticed? January 2016 was already shrouded in grief. Just days before, David Bowie had died, stunning fans across the globe. But in the shadow of that cultural earthquake, another legend quietly slipped away. Alan Rickman, age 69, gone from pancreatic cancer.
Legendary British actor Alan Rickman has died after a brief battle with cancer.
To many, he was the velvet-voiced villain, Hans Gruber in Die Hard, the chilling Professor Snape in Harry Potter, the ghost of heartbreak in Truly, Madly, Deeply. On stage, he was just as commanding, earning acclaim in London and on Broadway. But off-screen, Rickman was intensely private. Few knew he was even ill. He'd kept his diagnosis close, telling only his inner circle. There was no farewell tour, no grand announcement, just silence. Then, on January 14, 2016, less than a week after Bowie's death, Rickman was gone. For some, the news came too late, as if grief had become too crowded that week to register another Titan's fall. Yet when word spread, tributes poured in from around the world. Colleagues, fans, and friends remembering the man behind the unforgettable characters.
If anyone did approach him with anything like gratitude or even just a question, they would be greeted with a depth of sweetness that no one who didn't know him could even guess at.
Alan Rickman was never just a supporting role in our memories. He was the scene stealer, the line you remembered, the ache behind the sarcasm. And when he died, the stage dimmed, subtly, completely, forever. We watch them grow, shine, and shape the stories we still carry with us. Yet their ending slipped past us, quietly, painfully, and far too soon. Why did some of these losses go unnoticed? How did their legacies fade without a final spotlight? Let's keep their memory alive, not just for how they died, but for how they lived. Tell us which actor shocked you the most to learn it passed. And if there's a name we missed, drop it in the comments. Like, subscribe, and join us again as we honor the lives behind the fame and the stories time nearly forgot. Thank you for watching.